There's a sudden, unexplained influx of money.
Ah, the money trail.
Yep. The narrator started seeing Emily with new clothes, expensive coffee, a phone upgrade. These weren't small things you could just ignore.
Right, tangible evidence.
They were visible, material signs of money coming from somewhere that just didn't fit Emily's apparent situation. She
Yeah.
didn't have a high-paying job, hadn't mentioned any inheritance or anything.
But where's it coming from?
Exactly. These were all visible changes, pieces of a puzzle that just didn't fit the picture of the Emily the narrator thought she knew. Each new weird thing chipped away at that foundation of trust, creating this escalating sense of disquiet. Something felt really off.
And if we zoom out a bit, this really shows how these aren't just isolated weird incidents anymore.
It's a pattern.
Exactly. It's a significant erosion of the very foundation of trust that this friendship was supposedly built on. What was maybe brushed off before as a quirk now becomes this undeniable pattern of secretive, anxious, financially strange behavior. Each new piece of info, maybe small on its own, just adds up cumulatively to this growing, profound doubt. It's like that steady drip of water, slowly wearing away the stone, right? Revealing the fragility underneath.
Yeah, definitely.
And the nature of Emily's excuses, too, that becomes really critical here. You mentioned the narrator overheard something.
Yes. This was pivotal. She overheard Emily whispering this really chilling phrase, "Don't worry, they'll never find out."
Oof. Sounds ominous.
Right, so the narrator confronts her directly. "Emily, who are you talking to?"
And Emily's reaction.
Nervous laughter, and a totally unconvincing excuse, like, "Oh, just my cousin, nothing important."
Deflection.
Total deflection.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. It actually heightened the suspicion dramatically. Because these excuses, they're clearly designed to create a smokescreen, right? But they fail because they're just so inconsistent with her actual behavior, her emotional state.
Right. The narrator can see the anxiety.
Exactly. She can see the anxiety, hear the evasiveness, witness the new stuff bought with unexplained money. The huge gap between the words "nothing important" and all the nonverbal cues and facts just creates this almost unbearable tension for the narrator.
Yeah. Which brings us to that crucial point for reflection, I think. At what specific point does giving the benefit of the doubt cross the line to what you might call willful blindness in a close relationship? For the narrator, it seems the sheer weight of all these inconsistencies pushed her definitively past that line. It transformed her from just being a passive, worried observer into someone consumed by this active, gnawing suspicion that something was fundamentally and maybe even dangerously wrong.
That's such a powerful distinction, that line between benefit of the doubt and willful blindness. And yeah, for our narrator, that line was definitely crossed.
Yeah.
Big time.
So what does she do?
Eventually, the gnawing curiosity, or maybe it was a deeper protective instinct, for her friend, or maybe even for herself, it just compelled her to take action. This was the moment she decided, I have to find out for myself no matter what. She said she just couldn't live with the uncertainty anymore. The questions were just too loud.
Understandable. The not knowing can be worse sometimes.
Totally. So one Saturday night, driven by this desperate need for answers, she made a really deliberate and frankly risky decision. She followed Emily.
Wow.
She described Emily walking into a downtown cafe, a place busy enough for some anonymity, but intimate enough for a quiet meeting. And importantly, Emily deliberately chose a table tucked way back in the corner, signaling, a clear desire for privacy, for discretion, an intent not to be seen or overheard.
Setting the stage for secrecy.
Absolutely. The atmosphere must have been incredibly tense, at least for the narrator watching this unfold. And then came the pivotal moment, the scene that would just completely change her view of her best friend forever. An older man, maybe in his 40s, arrived and joined Emily.
Okay. The mystery man appears.
Yeah. And their conversation was hushed, heads leaning in close, really emphasizing the secretive nature of the meeting. It had this quiet intensity that spoke volumes, even without hearing the words. The narrator described this not just tightening in her stomach, a cold dread starting to creep in.
I can only imagine.
But it was one line, one single cryptic phrase that truly made the narrator's blood run cold and confirmed her absolute worst fears. She couldn't hear everything, cafe noise, but this one sentence cut through everything with chilling clarity. Plan B is ready.
Plan B is ready.
Wow. The impact was instantaneous, profound, her immediate reaction visceral. My blood ran cold, her body reacted too. My hands were shaking as she instinctively pulled out her phone to record them.
She recorded it.
Yeah, highlighting that raw emotional intensity, that desperate, almost involuntary shift from just watching to documenting, getting proof. And in that instant, the abstract suspicion just solidified into this alarming, undeniable conclusion. Emily, my best friend, was keeping a dangerous secret from me. The implications of Plan B is ready were terrifying, suggesting a backup for something hidden, something potentially illegal or dangerous, a situation so precarious it needed an escape route.
Yeah, that's an especially compelling point, isn't it? That sudden, stark shift from this abstract, nagging suspicion to something concrete. Even if it's ambiguous, it's evidence.
Right. It's real.
The phrase Plan B is ready, it immediately brings up images of premeditation, contingency planning, and, yeah, an undeniable degree of hidden danger.
Definitely.
It's a phrase that's just loaded with implication. It suggests a calculated risk, a backup strategy for something that has gone wrong, or could go horribly wrong. This single cryptic phrase has immense power to instantly reshape the narrator's entire understanding. It transforms her friend from just being secretive into someone potentially mixed up in something really perilous, maybe even criminal. It evokes intense fear because it implies there's already a risky Plan A happening, a life on the edge.
Yeah, exactly. What is Plan A?
Right. And this moment also brings up some significant ethical questions, doesn't it?
About the recording.
Yeah. The narrator's decision to covertly record her friend, to become an active spy instead of just a passive observer.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about how utterly eroded the trust was in that friendship at this point.
True.
So a relevant question is, was that active surveillance justified by the perceived danger? In that moment of intense fear, uncertainty, maybe worrying about her friend's safety, maybe her own, the narrator felt compelled to get undeniable proof, to seize some control over what felt like a situation spiraling out of control. It's a desperate measure, born from desperation, revealing just how completely that initial bond of trust had fractured under the weight of Emily's secrecy.
Yeah.
And furthermore, this connects to broader psychological ideas where, fragmented pieces of information like that chilling phrase can lead to major, often incomplete revelations.
Filling in the blanks.
Exactly. Our brains, faced with limited data in a high-stakes situation, tend to fill in the gaps, often with our deepest fears. We construct a narrative that might not be entirely accurate, but feels terrifyingly real and urgent in the moment. Plan B is ready was just enough to confirm danger, but not enough to explain the truth, leaving the narrator to imagine the absolute worst-case scenario.
And imagine the worst she did. Her mind must have been racing through every dark possibility. The burden of that discovery, the weight of a secret that felt so profound and dangerous, it just became utterly unbearable.
I bet.
So the very next day, the narrator knew, absolutely knew, she had to demand the truth. This was it, the moment of reckoning for their friendship, a confrontation that had been building really for weeks, maybe months, ever since those first little inconsistencies started.
The breaking point.
Definitely. She made that incredibly difficult, heart-wrenching choice to face Emily directly, armed with the evidence she'd secretly recorded.
So she showed her the video.
She did. She detailed showing the recorded video to Emily. And the narrator describes the scene with this agonizing clarity. Emily's reaction, immediate, powerful, a total cascade of emotion.
Okay.
First, she just froze. Absolutely stunned.
Yeah.
The color visibly drained from her face as this hidden world she'd so carefully constructed just came crashing down around her.
Wow.
Then, slowly, painfully, she just broke down in tears, signifying the immense crushing weight of the secret finally being exposed. This wasn't just, admitting she did something wrong. It was a profound emotional breakdown, a visceral outpouring of relief, maybe, and regret, a critical turning point for both of them and for the whole story of their friendship.
The dam finally broke.
Totally. The torrent of suppressed emotion was just overwhelming.
And then, the confession.
And then, amidst the tears, came the confession. It was this moment of intense suspense because the narrator had been fearing the absolute worst, like a criminal contact, some really dark scheme that would endanger them both.
Right. All the Plan B implications.
Exactly. But the truth, while still